The other day, I found myself praying to God, hoping that something that I wanted in my life was going to happen. I was crossing my fingers and praying that a specific loved one of mine, that their health condition improves. And I'm not really a religious person. Sometimes I do prayers, but I was praying in this way where like I wanted God to fix the problem for me. And I don't even believe in an external God. And that was the weirdest part, was that I've been studying hundreds of spiritual books for the last 8 years, and many of them have taught me that God is not some external force out there up in the clouds out in the universe that can grant your wishes like a genie. Some of the crazy stuff that I've been learning is that I am one with God. Just like Jesus said, the Father and I are one. So when I was sitting in my bed praying that my loved one would get better, this was like a cognitive dissonance moment for me, because then I realized, wait a second, who am I praying to? I'm like trying to offload my problems to God, but not realizing, like, wait a second, God basically like told me, even though I am God, so I told myself when I realized, oh wait, maybe I should just do it myself. Now, guys, when I say I am God, I just mean like, the universal force, the universal power is connected with me. There's nothing outside of you that's going to give you what you want in your life. You need to take charge. You are the creator. This is why Mahatma Gandhi said you need to be the change that you wish to see in the world. So if you want something to happen in your life, you need to actually do something about it. You need to be the cause of your reality. You need to actually make it happen. So what did I do in my scenario? I actually started researching my specific loved one's health condition, and I read an entire chapter. I found the audiobook online because I didn't have the book, but I found it online. I skipped to the chapter about the specific condition. I listened to the entire chapter so I can learn about what's causing the condition and some things you can do to heal it. And then after that, I went to my loved one and I had a talk with them, because this was something that was weighing on me for a long time. Normally, I try to just kind of let the universe figure things out, but in this scenario, I realized, wait, if I want my loved one to get better, I need to actually involve myself in the situation. I need to be the change that I want to see. I can't just let God figure it out. And sometimes that can happen. Sometimes synchronistically, spontaneously, the universe will solve a problem for you or will fix something that was almost seeming out of your control. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in a second, like the difference between when you kind of just let something happen versus forcing it to happen. But in this scenario, the big lesson that I learned was that I need to actually fix it. I need to do the thing. Instead of praying to God, crossing my fingers, hoping that I'm using the right finger crossing technique, praying, bartering, bargaining with God, hoping that some outer force, some outer power is going to fix my problem, I realized that, wait a second, I am God. So I gotta fix it. So I went to my loved one and then I recounted everything I had just learned in the audiobook, and I explained it kindly and compassionately, and it actually motivated them to now try this new healing protocol that I learned in the book. So we had to, it involves celery juice, of course. If this is something that you've been following my channel a little bit, you know that this is something I've been experimenting with. But yeah, it's again, sorry. Someone in my other videos said that he clicked off the second I said celery juice. So, it's not a new age woo woo thing. Like, there's millions of people that have healed many different forms of chronic illnesses from celery juice. So it's not like a crazy thing. But anyways, this is what I was learning in the book. So long story short, my loved one and I are trying it out, all because I decided to take action, to actually involve myself, to be the change that I want to see in the world, instead of passively waiting, hoping things will work out, hoping things will go my way. So, some more examples where you can apply this to your life is in dating, for example. Another thing that I had to learn when I first began my dating journey, when I was like in grade 6 or grade 7, and I hit puberty, and all of a sudden I was interested in dating girls. I had this mentality of like, if I just pretend not to be interested, or if I just like wait and just hope that the girl likes me back and then maybe she'll make it happen. Like, I didn't know how to actually take the initiative, how to take the lead, to actually make the thing that I want to happen, actually make sure it happens. I didn't know how to do that. So it took me a long time. I had to read a couple books. I had to study on the internet. I had to fail a bunch of times, but eventually I learned, in this one book, I forget which one it was a dating book, but the author was saying you should actually communicate your interest to the girl. You need to initiate flirtation. You can do it with your eye contact. You can do it by just your posture, your intention, the way you speak, your tone of voice, making it a little extra playful, a little extra flirtatious in an authentic way. So communicating intention. The thing you want is not gonna just like land on your doorstep. Sometimes in certain occasions it will, unexpectedly. But if there's something that's really bugging you in your life, something that you really want, a lot of times you need to realize, instead of praying to God, waiting and hoping that something will go my way, like, for another example is at a job interview. Instead of, hoping that they're going to message you back, or hoping, crossing your fingers that they're going to call you back, how can you take the initiative to make sure that your application is the best by far, and actually your employer would be stupid not to call you back? There's things that you can do. You could, for example, I haven't applied to a job in a very long time, but you could show up at the office the next day and interview some of the staff. You can learn everything there is to know about this particular industry, this particular company. Learn about how things work there. You can talk to the secretary, learn the boss's name, learn maybe some of their interests, learn what hours they're in, learn the company. You can research it online. How does the company work? What's the economic situation? So, and then you can also perhaps even read a book about like how to win friends and influence people, or how you can research how to make a lasting impression at a job interview. So you can take the necessary steps to take the initiative to make sure that you are the best candidate for the position. Now, I want to quickly make a distinction, also not being too attached to the outcome. This is very important as well. There's this really weird and delicate balance that is so difficult to communicate clearly, that there is an element when we're talking about creating your reality, creating the life you want, getting results in your life, getting what you want. There's this weird, super weird paradox of like, you have to kind of not need it that badly to be okay without it, but then at the same time to try your hardest and be persistent in the pursuit of getting it. It's this weird thing. It's like, it almost makes no sense. But a wise man once told me that paradox is not a glitch in the fabric of reality, but it's actually a feature. Reality is inherently very, very, very paradoxical. This is something that is one of the side effects of oneness, and this whole thing I was talking about in the beginning about I am God, realizing that God sort of is an outer power, but then at the same time isn't an outer power, and it's you. So there's this weird mix of like oneness that is pretending to be two-ness. So this creates paradox. This is a metaphysical point that is out of the scope of the video, but whenever you're studying personal development, it's important you just keep in mind things will contradict in themselves, and it's not always a glitch, it's a feature, because reality is every way that it could be. Reality's infinite. So yeah, you do have to let go and trust that things are going to work out your way. And yes, you can visualize, which we're going to talk about in a second. You can visualize the end result that you want and just trust that it's going to come. And at the same time, you need to also take action to make sure it happens. Make it happen. God's not going to just bring it to your doorstep. You got to make it happen. So another example is health, like we were talking about before with my loved one. If we're talking about healing, it's not enough to just cross your fingers. You got to actually make a diet change. You got to research, etc. It's the same with spirituality as well. You need to actually put in the hours, like actually doing the practices to make sure that your consciousness is actually increasing. It might take multiple hours per day of meditation to actually make sure you are getting the results. Not that you want the spiritual results, you want to be enlightened, or you want to be a manifesting genius or an alchemist or whatever you want to be. If you're interested in spirituality, you want to be a Buddha, but you need to actually make sure it happens. You might need to read 10 books about the subject. You might need to go to a retreat. You might need to move to a different country, or at least travel there for an extended period. So you have to actually be involved in making sure that what you want out of your life is what you are putting into your life. You are actually putting in the action steps that are required to create your dreams. This can be as simple as a daily habit, or like, for example, like making a video, which is what I'm doing now, or meditating, or etc., reading a book, all of these kinds of things. So let's talk about the two types of taking action. So we're talking about you need to actually do something to get what you want. There's two ways that you can actually do something. Way number one is that you can actually spend some time visualizing the end case scenario that you want, the end goal. Visualize it as if it's already present in your reality. Okay, so if you have a loved one that's sick, you can spend some time visualizing that they are healed and they get better. Maybe they change their mind about something, or they get more disciplined about their diet, or whatever it is, but they have a change of heart and they heal themselves and they are healthy now. You can use the same visualization process for your business being in the state that you want it to be, or your relationship, your dating life being with the person that you want to be with. Don't focus too much on a specific person, more so focus just on the general feeling of like, I am now currently feeling like what I want is already mine. It's natural for me. I already have it. This might sound woo-woo and like against the whole topic of the video is that you need to actually do something, but what people underestimate is that visualization does count as doing something. It's not easy. It requires focus. This is why no one does it. And this is why it's also so powerful. Before you get a result in your life, it's very powerful to just practice getting the result in your mind. This is what world-class athletes do, like Michael Phelps. Before he would swim his race, even when he would go to sleep at night, throughout the day when he's eating dinner, his coach instructed him to put in the tape, which meant that he would visualize himself as he's falling asleep. He would visualize himself swimming the gold medal lap in full detail, from when the starting gun goes off to when he makes it and he touches the final pad and wins the gold medal. So visualization is very, very powerful. Michael Phelps, by doing this, when he would then go actually perform, his coach, all he had to tell him was one thing: Michael, you know what to do. Put in the tape. So that's what he would do. Since he practiced in his mind so much, it was impossible for him to not win the gold medal because he already won it. It was already his. He won it 1,000 times beforehand in his mind. He practiced. Okay, so there's also many studies of people practicing the piano in their minds and them making similar progress to other people who practice the piano in actual reality, in physical reality. So I'm not saying visualization is the only thing that you do, but it is a thing that can be very powerful and is recommended actually, and is the magic key that a lot of people leave out. One thing a lot of people don't realize is that when you visualize, you actually shift your vibrational frequency to the timeline of you already having what you want. You become a vibrational match for it. Then, now that you're a vibrational match, you attract the right opportunities to you that you still have to take action on. You attract the right ideas to you, the right book ideas. Like recently I've been visualizing myself having more spiritual enlightenment and more awakening. And by being in this state, I attract to myself certain books that I heard about a long time ago, but I forgot. And just all of a sudden, randomly, I'll think in my mind, as I'm visualizing, I'll think, oh, I should buy the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Because that'll probably help me with this thing that I'm visualizing. So normally, if I wasn't visualizing, if I was just doing my daily life and not thinking about feeling the way that I want to feel now, I wouldn't be a vibrational match to even attract the thought, oh, maybe I should go on Amazon and buy the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. That thought wouldn't have crossed my mind. So the visualization almost like brings the opportunities to you and makes them obvious for you. And then The second type of taking action is that you just actually do it consistently. Every day, if possible, take steps towards the goal, concrete steps. And honestly, don't take no for an answer. If you're sure that this is your goal, and this is also why visualization is so important, because you practice it in your mind. You check to see, is this my actual goal? Do I actually want this? Like, when I'm visualizing it, does it feel me? Does it feel authentic? Is this really what I want? See, sometimes this is so good because when you do your visualization, you're setting a clear target. A lot of people underestimate this step. They think it sounds too woo-woo or too new age, or they don't see clearly how it works. And then they spend 20 years working really hard towards a goal that they don't even want the end result of. They get to the end after 20 years and they realize, oh, this is kind of not what I thought it was. This is not very fulfilling. Yeah, you should have spent more time visualizing the end result to check to see in your imagination. You're a human being. You have the power of imagination. This is a God-given power. Use it. Go out into the future and actually visualize a scenario, and it might take a couple days or a couple weeks for you to get clear about, what do I honestly, authentically really want? Which I have a whole video about that you can check out. It's very helpful. So the second type of action is you got to actually just do it. And the last thing I wanted to leave you with is that having a meditation practice does help a lot in this whole process. I know it seems unrelated, but as a human being, it's very, very easy for you to get swept away in the doing of life, forcing it to happen, trying too hard, being too attached, too adamant about the goal that you want. Which reminds me, I have to still finish my last point. But meditation can help to ground you. This is something that you should be doing 30 minutes to an hour every single day, because it helps to reset your slate, to clean your slate, to be fresh, to let go of needing to always manipulate reality to get what you want. So again, there's the paradox again. We need to let go of the need to manipulate reality, to force the thing that we want. We got to let it go completely and just be okay as we are. Just breathing. I have a lot of other guides on my channel how to do that. But then at the same time, you also then, after you've kind of grounded and become centered and present, now you can get clear about what you want and then fucking go after it. Fucking make it happen. Make sure it happens. Okay, you are gonna make it happen. You're the creator of your reality, not God. You are the God of your reality. You make it happen. Take the action that's necessary. Don't take no for an answer. Now, also, there's some other points. It's way too much to go into in this video, but you also don't want to like plow through obstacles if it's 100%, the way is totally blocked. Maybe you can find a different way, or you can pivot, or you can adjust. You got to be intelligent about it and a little bit flowy, which is why the detachment from the meditation is so important. And this is something that I do talk about in a lot of detail in my coaching. I don't want to go into the whole thing here. I've made other videos about this as well. So if you're interested in the coaching, you can click the link in the description to apply. Also, the video I wanted to recommend for you was the how to get clear about what you want in your life video. Very important, because yes, you need to do something to get what you want, but first you need to actually be clear about what you want, and that's something a lot of people don't even know how to do. So that video will explain how to do that for free. Hope this was helpful for you. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.